FanTeam.com is back for another season-long Fantasy Premier League contest, with a £1 million guaranteed prize pool up for grabs. Last year's contest saw a brilliantly close fought battle before CheckJosh, aka Josh Wooldridge, eventually took home the €200,000 first place prize. This season, the entry fee will be set at £20, or €23 for those of you playing in Europe, keeping it in line with our Euro 2020 £1 million game, while being less than we charged last season. We've listened carefully to user feedback and have made subtle changes to improve the overall user experience. Furthermore, price changes have diligently been set to ensure more players are viable for selection. This video will give you all the information you need to know to enter, including game rules, scoring, and most importantly, the prize pool breakdown. The £1 million game is now live in the FanTeam lobby, so please feel free to head on over and begin creating your teams. Remember, you can make unlimited changes until the first match kicks off, between Brentford and Arsenal, at 8 PM BST on Friday the 13th of August. Mohamed Salah is the out-and-out most expensive player in the game, at 12.5 million, with Bruno Fernandes and Harry Kane close behind on 12. Sadio Mane and Raheem Sterling have been competitively priced at £10 million each, while new boy Jadon Sancho comes in at a tempting £9 million. So let's take a look at the game rules. We won't bore you with each of the specific rules, but here are the basics. For those of you that already play season-long games, more specifically Fantasy Premier League season-long games, our game rules will feel very familiar. You have a starting budget of 100 million to build your initial squad of 15 players, consisting of 2 goalkeepers, 5 defenders, 5 midfielders, and 3 forwards. You can make unlimited changes to your season-long team until the contest starts at 8 PM UK time on the 13th of August. From Game Week 2 onwards, the deadline for transfers and team changes will be 90 minutes prior to the first kickoff. You have 1 free transfer each game week, and additional transfers will cost 4 points each. You can carry over a maximum of 1 transfer, but never have more than 2 free transfers saved. You have 2 wildcards, 1 for the first half of the season, to be used before the Game Week 20 deadline, and 1 to be used during the second half of the season. A full breakdown of the game rules is available via the link in the description, which will take you to our dedicated £1 million season-long landing page. Moving on to the scoring system. Whether you're a new or existing FanTeam customer, our scoring system could not be more simple, and should feel familiar for those of you who play season-long games on other sites. Points are awarded for goals, assists and clean sheets, but can also be deducted for yellow and red cards. Please feel free to pause this video to take note or take a screenshot of all the scoring actions, and again, full details can be found via the link in the description. It's worth noting that there have been minor improvements to our point system for all fantasy football games going forward. Impact point reduction. Previously, we awarded 1 point for a win and deducted 1 point for a loss for the period the player was on the pitch. This has now been changed to 0.3 awarded for a win and 0.3 deducted for a loss. And this will reduce the impact of a team's performance and put more focus on the individual you have selected instead. Shots on target. Players will now be rewarded for a shot on target. 0.4 points for a forward or midfielder, 0.6 for a defender, and a full 1 point for a goalkeeper. Now we move on to the exciting part, the £1 million guaranteed prize pool breakdown. The minimum guaranteed prize pool for this contest is £1 million, with a mouth-watering first place prize of £200,000. A cool £75,000 will be awarded to our runner-up, with £50,000 going to third and £40,000 to fourth. Landing a place in the top 10 will secure you a £10,000 payday, whilst finishing in the top 100 will earn you a £1,000 payout. For those of you that finish outside the top 100, fear not, as we'll be paying out cash prizes all the way down to the top 5,000 places. Please feel free to pause the video to take note of the full prize pool breakdown, and again, full details can be found via the link in the description. This season, we've added a new incentive. £25,000 is set aside for the top 10 highest game week scores throughout the season, with first place scooping a massive £10,000 in cash. Please note, transfer deductions will not be included in your score, and double game weeks are not eligible. We know that many of you like to enter for Game Week 2 onwards, and this season will be no different, as late registration will be open until the Game Week 4 deadline, which is 11 PM UK time on Saturday the 11th of September. Late entries will receive 95% of the average score. For example, if you enter a late registration team for the start of Game Week 2, you'll receive 95% of the average score of every entry in Game Week 1. If you enter a team for the start of Game Week 3, you'll receive 95% of the average score of each entry from Game Weeks 1 and 2 combined. The deadline for making transfers and team changes for late registration entries will be 90 minutes before the first kickoff, which is the same deadline for all entrants. The £1 million game is now live in the FanTeam lobby, so head on over and start creating your teams for that eagerly awaited Friday night kickoff on August the 13th. If you're new to FanTeam, head over to the link in the description to create your account today.